Remix. 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 Remix.
Oh, yeah. Welcome out. This is the Remix Morning Show. Right here on Black Liberation Media. In case you didn't know, I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, coming to bring you some of that boom bap, country, hip hop, everything, music, and everything in between with some news that won't confuse. Let me bring through my crew. And who am I talking to and talking about? Well, let me bring them out. Let's start it off with no other than A-Rod and
Morning.
Jackie Lukeman. Started off with a little Dolly Parton today. You know, some islands in the stream. And, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Islands. See, what songs we didn't, we get the lyrics wrong until
Yeah.
like 50. And then we're like, shit, that's what that is?
Her and Kenny Rogers, the gambler. You know what I'm saying?
It was really weird because my mom loved Dolly Parton. Just for some, and Kenny Rogers. I never understood it, but you know, as I got older, it's like, you know, Dolly, she was kind of a rebel in her own way, and of course, you know, as celebrities go.
That 9 to 5 movie was off the hook when it came out. What are you talking about?
It was, and look, Dolly did for an individual in a capitalist system, in a very racist genre of music in particular, and very, very conservative. The things that she did with her money that we know about and that we don't know about, that she never told anybody. Because, like, I did not know that one of my favorite TV shows, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Dolly Parton was responsible for that.
Get out of here.
Oh, yep. Wow. Yes, Dolly Parton apparently founded and financed the production company that created or that was responsible for putting Buffy the Vampire Slayer on TV and the follow-up series Angel. She never told anybody that. There are some things that Miss Dolly has done.
And this right here.
Listen.
That right there for Whitney Houston, real quick. And and the fact that I like the fact that she did the money she made, $10 million off the royalties she made off of Whitney's cover. She put that money back into an office complex in black neighborhood in Nashville to honor Whitney and named it after her and everything. So you know, it wasn't bad neither. So anyway, A-Rod, what's good?
Was kind of advanced with the workers' rights stuff. That's what maybe we need to start doing, is tying up our bosses.
Well, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said 9 to 5 was a little advanced with the workers' rights. We need to start tying up our managers and stuff.
Yeah, and the fact that she was a woman leading that in the when did that movie come out? The
80s.
80s. There was still this weird attitude, and it hasn't gone away toward women in the workplace. Like in the 80s, we were really having the conversation about should women wear red in the workplace, because red is considered a power color. So, I mean, I understand the criticism that people are expressing, you know, with so many Africans, you know, seeming to mourn Dolly Parton, with people saying, you know, oh, her theme park had, I guess, like, I don't know, what was it called? Some kind of
Dollywood.
But yeah, the theme park, and there was some I guess a particular set of days that they celebrated some Southern thing, and people brought it to her attention. Ma'am, this is
Mm.
the legacy of racism tied to this is just so she changed the name and all that kind
Oh,
of stuff.
Dixieland.
Yes, that's what it was. I
Okay,
couldn't
Dixie.
remember what was it, a
Oh
flag?
yeah,
Was it
yeah.
the name? It was
That
the Dixie
name.
Stampede. That's what it was.
Yeah,
So people were like, that Dixie
yeah. You
shit
gotta
is
change
problematic. Listen.
that for real.
and she was like, you know what? Maybe it is. And she
Mhm.
changed the name. Didn't really change the content of the show. You know, but
And I got another DJ on here. Beyonce redid Jolene on her
Mhm.
her last album.
Yeah.
So
mm,
her Cowboy
it was
Carter.
it
What
wasn't
you ain't like the
it wasn't
redo?
it was I was a little insulted.
What
So
about you, A
please
Rock?
stop. Mm-mm.
It was okay. I
It
mean,
was
I didn't
okay.
really get into Cowboy Carter like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Oh,
didn't feel
okay.
authentic to me, so
I don't understand how a girl from Texas that grows up in Texas goes around all these rodeos, been in I mean, that's like me growing up in New Orleans doing pop music all my life and then coming back and doing a New Orleans album. It's in your blood. I don't understand why it'd be authentic. Was it the times you think?
I mean, because it's never presented itself in the 20 plus years she's been making music, so it just felt like a money grab.
I think the thing is too, just like Scott's last album is you're able once you've done a certain type of music, you're able to try other stuff. Just like artists, other older artists, they would be like, "All right, I did that. Now the '80s is coming. Let me try some of this electric music. Let me not do something with a band." So I think progressing of an artist, because we always want to keep an artist like right here. Don't change. Be this way the whole time. I'm like, nah, let them fly.
I mean, I could appreciate like, artists
Mhm.
experiment. I just feel like in context with the whole Beyonce universe and ecosystem, it just feels like constant trying to sell you something, and not necessarily just creating good music and
Mhm.
experimenting with music.
Well, since we talking about good singers,
Oh Lord. I'm crying, man.
oh! Is there a
My
heart? Is there a heart in the house tonight?
my tear ducts have been working overtime the past couple of days. I was mourning him, and then I wasn't prepared for Dolly. I'm like, damn it to hell, death. What are you doing?
I know. Big up to Michael Wright. Yeah, man. That was about. If you talk about favorite movies, that was one of them. It had everything in it.
Come on.
What?
Like I don't know. I just think I think it's okay for us revolutionaries to enjoy some mindless pop culture,
Mm,
in regard to entertainment, as long as we know full well that that's all it is. It is entertainment, and that there are contradictions within. And when we're having a conversation about politics, I think, yeah, bring those contradictions up. But if
mm,
we're talking about a person who has never presented themselves as political at all, who has never said, who basically has said, listen, I don't like it when people are treated badly. I don't like it. And if I have some money, I'm gonna try to make it right if I can.
mm,
And I'm not gonna tell everybody. I'm just gonna use this money that I have to do things for people who need help, who people are not helping, because I think it's important for me to do that because I have the resource to do it. That's how I kind of see Dolly Parton. And there are not a lot of entertainers. There are not a lot of people in this country in general who have that attitude, who are just like decent people and care about other people because they're humans in general.
mm.
Right? That's how I see Dolly Parton. I don't see her as,
Man, forget
some.
Dolly Parton. We talk about Michael. We talk about nights like this,
Well,
raindrops
and
will
and
fall.
so it's really interesting that the same criticism about folks celebrating Dolly is not it's just interesting to see what is going on social media today.
Man,
Like,
fuck social
I
media.
I
It's because
don't.
of the white
It was
skin.
okay for us to mourn Michael. It was okay for us to mourn. Remember when Michael K. Williams died? I did cry. Oh
Mhm.
my God,
Yeah,
I did
me
cry.
Yeah.
too.
I mean, real tears. No joke.
Did that hit home because of the
Nobody.
whole eyes thing? I mean, not The Wire being
Yeah,
in DMV. Oh, okay.
and no, I mean, because he has been an incredible actor, and I've followed his career. He was big into house music,
Yeah.
in the New York scene. He was a dancer.
Hmm.
He was a dancer, and he was a beautiful dancer. So most people knew him from The Wire,
Mm-hmm.
but he had a prolific career before that and after that. So man, when he died, and of course the personal connection, that man's struggle with addiction was just,
Yeah.
it was something he was not shy about. He talked about it frequently to encourage other people. You know, he was not he was a capitalist. He wasn't a revolutionary. I don't remember him saying a whole lot of revolutionary stuff.
Mm.
Ain't nobody give nobody heat for that man, for mourning that man when he died.
I
I
mean,
don't get
I don't get I
politics.
don't
I
get mad
don't.
at I don't get mad at a cook that don't know how to make a house. Everybody got their lane. Like everybody can't be everybody to everybody. Sorry. It's just what it is. So toughen up.
You know,
I
and
Anyway.
think
it's just
I just get annoyed when people take it too far and like start making white celebrities like honorary black people and
oh
all
yeah,
kinds of they go a little
yeah,
too far with it.
I mean,
And
we not bringing Tina Marie to the picnic table. we not bringing no, not Tina.
no, I look, see, every time we do this, every time it turns into this descent
Or
into
who gets the invite to the picnic?
into which celebrity is acceptable and which is not. That's, I mean, acceptable on what grounds? If we're talking about just entertainment, cool. Yeah, Tina Marie. As far as politics, I don't know what Tina Marie's politics were.
Exactly.
right.
I don't know. And
Her square
is that
biz
a
though.
failure on my part? Probably,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
she was an incredible musician. Her claim to fame is she was an incredible R&B singer, which
Mm-hmm.
is
Yeah.
very unusual for a white artist,
Yeah.
And she
right?
dealt
So
with
Wasn't
Rick
she
just a
she
James.
wasn't
mediocre
like an
singer, got
honorary black.
elevated.
That girl had black pipes.
Yeah, she didn't get like elevated because she was a mediocre white singer
Mm-mm.
compared to like other black singers. She could actually sing.
Yeah.
And she
So
also had
Yeah.
the pleasure of living at a time where we didn't get such insight into celebrities, where we know
facts.
everything that they think and we could appreciate just the art they made and did not have to
Right.
worry about what they thought about everything because they weren't on social media and they weren't just voluntarily telling us their terrible thoughts all the time.
But before we get into news and stuff like that, I went to my other daughter's volleyball game last night. And
Mhm.
I love volleyball. I must say that was a hell
Really?
of a game they was playing. It went down to the end, and you got to beat the person by 2 points. So it kept going and
Mhm.
going and going, and then at the end of the game, my girl Taylor, she didn't do too good, so she started crying and stuff a little bit, even though they won the game. But I was like, man, that's that passion right there. What gave what did you have passion like that? What gave you the passion to want to win like that when you was okay? So I know you did weightlifting. Was that the only thing you did? And also you, A Rod, did you do anything? What gave you the passion to want to win? Because I see a lot of kids are like, fuck it. I lost, whatever. Me, I played sports. I played every sport from baseball, football, basketball, karate, bowling, you name it. I just didn't want to, I don't know. I just wanted to be good.
I played sports, but I didn't really get into being very, very competitive with sports like that.
Mhm.
I played softball, basketball, and I actually play volleyball too. And I still play adult co-ed leagues sometimes. And I just like the camaraderie and learning the game. And
Mm.
I've umpired baseball, And once the kids get to about 12 or 13, them and their parents, it gets a little too competitive for me. Like I just enjoy this the being active and meeting people and learning the sport. I'm not with like trying to do anything to win and lambasting people if they make mistakes. Yeah.
I was ready to start the chant last night. 1, 2, 3. The referee. 3, 2, 1. The other one. Anyway, go ahead, Jackie.
You're one of those parents. I see. You're one of those parents.
The ref was calling some bullshit last night. I ain't do it though. But go ahead.
They start the kids like to compete. Like they encourage them to move schools and do a bunch of things to like play sports. They hold kids back in school sometimes so that when they get to the age they can play a certain sport, they're bigger than the other kids. And to me, it's just so commercialized and monopolized that it's like very money driven and not about the love of the sport.
Yeah,
right.
I agree. And I'm not. I didn't play sports in high school. The fact that I fell into powerlifting was a complete surprise and fluke for me. And even when I competed, yeah, the purpose of powerlifting is as you know, a competitive sport is to go on the floor and beat the shit out of everybody else.
Was you trying to beat your last weight, or was you really
Yes.
like, okay, it wasn't even about
and,
that?
and that's kind of what it turned into for me, because there are some people who take the whole that mentality, because that you know, beat the shit out of your opponent mentality, that is definitely a part of strength training, of strength athlete mental kind of preparation, that the adrenaline is that you get from strength training, whether it's powerlifting or bodybuilding. It is nothing. I mean, it's crazy how good it feels to know that literally you can train yourself to pull 320 pounds off the floor and do it repeatedly. And you know, but for me, that was the draw. That was like, oh my God, look at what I can do. You know, look at what because you go to some competitions and some people are really into, you know, trash talk and getting into your face, and it's heavy weights around, man. I'm crazy. Don't
All right, don't fuck
I
with
Do you know
Jackie.
Floyd Hayes, Jackie?
Huh?
Do you know Floyd Hayes?
Yeah, I've heard, I'm familiar with him.
He was my professor at NC State in my
Are you
Africana studies
serious?
program. Yeah.
Wow. That is dope. But that's I was never I'm not, because
All
I'm
right,
not
y'all
that
just
type of
left us
person.
out of this whole Floyd Hayes thing. Who is Floyd Hayes, Rob?
You're gonna have to look it up
He's
now.
he's a professor. I think he might still be at Johns Hopkins, but he used to
Mhm.
teach at NC State. He was one of my professors, and
Oh.
he made a huge impact on my life. So, and he's
Oh.
also a power lifter. That's why I asked
Oh,
Jackie.
okay. See, we was trying to make the correlation here. I was
Yeah.
like, the
Yeah.
hell?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah,
And
when I found
he's about 80 now, but he still
yeah.
lifts.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, he does. When I found out, I knew of him from powerlifting. And when I saw a picture of him as a professor, and I was like, he looks familiar. And I didn't know that was him. But yeah, him, Ronnie Coleman. There was an African sister um, who set the record for raw deadlift, that and this sister used to put duct tape on her shins so the bar would slide up her shins
Oh, damn.
easier. That just, you know, so yeah, I that kind of stuff. I love the competition against myself.
That's what it
That
is.
I loved that, and seeing how I could push myself and what this body could really do. I was shocked that I could do what I did. And that's what the draw for me, how good it
Okay.
made me feel, the confidence it gave me. That's
Yeah.
and
I
and,
think
and that's
that's
kind of the downside to powerlifting, because if you're a person who had low self-esteem and you fall into powerlifting, you're good at it, oh, that adrenaline rush and the self-confidence, you
yeah.
you kind of become a menace a
Yeah.
little bit.
I do encourage sports for kids to build up their confidence. And I am confidently about to say we about to have a good show. And we're gonna take a break and then we're gonna get right into some news and things like that. Welcome out to the Remix Morning Show. On our first break, I am the ear doctor. That's Jackie Loopman. That's A-Rob. Let's get to it right here, right now. Let me put that right there. Hit that right there. And bam, we be back. All right. We're gonna take a real quick short break right here. I just wanted to put y'all on to this album I was just listening to right here. Let me see. You probably never heard of this American bass player. He goes by the name of Alphonso Johnson. Yes, as you can hear in the background as I play some Alphonso Johnson. This is off his album Yesterday's Dream. What did I have to say but other than that, he was straight out of Philadelphia, and he worked with people like Santana, Phil Collins, Jeffrey Osborne, and also on this album he had Grover Washington Jr., Sheila E. This is her first time recording on the album. Sheila E., Philip Bailey, Diane Reeves, and Patrice Rushen all on this album just for being a bass player, and he brought the funk with it. All right, with that said, Yesterday's Dreams, Fonzo Johnson. All right, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Yeah. Man, I don't know, man. This needle keep messing up on me.
Did you clean your needle? Are you cleaning your needle with your thumb?
There you go. Okay, there we go.
He spit on it first.
Sometimes you got to spit in so the connection can run through.
Mm-hmm.
That's on the vinyl. That's on the needles. That's just some things you got to do. You know how back in the day you had to take a cartridge and be like,
oh yeah,
and all it was just spit connecting stuff. There it is.
Whatever you say, ear doctor. I'm gonna
listen.
I believe it.
That's that vegan saliva.
No, this was when I was eating pork back in the day. Yeah, that was
that pig spit.
That was that pig spit. All right, let's go ahead and get to the news right here. Woo.
Hey Rob, what's going on? How you been?
I've been all right. Busy, but good. We had a data center moratorium vote at County Commission Monday, and a Black August potluck Sunday. And I also interviewed a Amazon Calls employee who's on a hunger strike on Sunday.
Well, we have that. I'm glad you brought that up because, yeah, we have that in the run sheet. So let's take a look at this. And what happened? Where did you go? Okay, there it is. Yep. Let's see. Got the audio. Good.
They weighed in at 115 pounds this morning. So
in case you haven't noticed,
that's like 35 pounds down. That's a quarter of my body weight that I've lost. Starting to get very dizzy. It's tough to get up and feeling very lethargic. even though the body is weak, the spirit is very strong. And that's what I'm grounding myself in right now in these last tougher few days. I just know that I'm going to make it the 40 days. It's not even a question in my mind. There's been so many people before in the labor movement that have done these types of hunger strikes, and they've made it through the 40 days. Even while their bodies were decomposing and deteriorating, and now I'm feeling it, it helps me feel connected to these people that came before me. I grew up in a Latin American Roman Catholic household. So from the time that I was a little kid, I was taught and really internalized that sometimes you have to suffer for a purpose and put your body on the line. This is really life or death. People really lose their lives. And internally and spiritually, I feel stronger than I ever have before. I have no doubt that we're going to make it to the 40 days. And I'm incredibly excited to see what we do after we're done with this. So just to reiterate, we have 3 basic demands. Amazon needs to end their inhumane 911 policies. They need to hold an open town hall at every facility here in the Triangle, and they need to negotiate with ALU. Please, 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 at the end of this fast, we have 1 week left. Push with everything that you can. Tell your friends. Tell any media that you know. And just keep me in your thoughts. It's day.
Wait a minute.
Wow. What? So A-Rob, what is this hunger strike about? Why did people, I'm sure people didn't even know, I did not know that there were people on a hunger strike against Amazon. So why are they doing this?
So I asked him if there were other employees doing this, and to his knowledge, he's the only one. His name is Italo Medilius, and he is a member of the Amazon cause here in Durham. It stands for Carolina Amazonians United for Solidarity and Empowerment, and they are pushing for a union in the Amazon facilities here in the Triangle, which is Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill area. And he is from Lima, Peru. His family came here when he was 10 to escape the Fujimori regime and lived in eastern North Carolina down close to the coast in Wallace. And he worked in the blueberry fields as a 10-year-old. His father was deported when he was 12, and he got introduced to the labor movement working in the blueberry fields with Flock would come and teach them English and give them food and talk to them. And so fast forward into, he came to Durham, went to North Carolina Central for law school, and started working at Amazon to pay to support himself through school. So he's technically legally a lawyer, but he decided to continue to work at Amazon to push for a union. So
Wait, so he went to school, graduated, got his JD. Did he pass the bar? He's a lawyer, or did he ever take the bar? He is a lawyer.
Yeah.
And he decided to stay. What is that? That is not appropriate. That is inappropriate. That is inappropriate. We're gonna get you when you come back. But that's so he was so dedicated to, he was so upset by what he saw working at Amazon that he decided, I'm not going to take this degree and go make lawyer money. I'm going to go right back to these blueberry fields and fight for better conditions for these workers. That is that what he said?
Well, yeah, his exact words were, he thought it would be real shitty to say, I've got mine now. Everybody else got to figure it out. So he stayed on. And North Carolina is an at-will state, so there is no real union presence here. And really what they're asking for is for the 5 Amazon facilities in this area to host open town halls where union representatives and representatives from Amazon can have dialogue with employees on the clock and talk about what a union is and isn't and what some of the concerns are. And what prompted this was earlier this year, a man had a medical emergency. And apparently, Amazon has a policy where they cannot call 911. They have to go through their internal medical team, which is called AmCare. But it's really like a kind of like a glorified first aid type situation. It's not like trained medical professionals. And the man wound up dying. And so they didn't give a lot of information. It was kind of traumatic for the workers that were there. And there's actually a whole Wikipedia page dedicated to Amazon deaths, all the different people that have died on the job at Amazon. And so he started doing this fast kind of as a spiritual endeavor to show solidarity with the people that had passed away. But then, kind of spontaneously decided to continue it for 40 days. When I met with him Sunday, that was day 31.
Wow.
So he started at 150 pounds and is down to 115. So he's lost a quarter of his body weight.
In the words of Glorilla, I'm confused.
Okay.
When you talk about a hunger strike, I thought strikes were supposed to like disrupt business, hurt a business, or something like this. This don't seem like a. If I was a business and you did a hunger strike, I'm like, go ahead. How is that affecting me? If you get in front of my business and stop people from coming in or something, I get that, but a hunger strike?
It's more about using this to call attention to the cause, to the larger cause. And him, he said that he wants to elevate the discourse and raise the consciousness, and that this work needs to be more than just picket lines and rallies and kind of repeating the same talking points. So he wanted to elevate that by taking a drastic measure.
When
to
has a
get
hunger
attention.
strike worked?
How many hunger strikes do you know about? How many?
None. That's why I'm asking.
Okay.
When has a hunger strike worked?
No.
Ask the question.
Didn't Dick Gregory go on hunger strike?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did.
Did it work?
Yes, he did. During the anti-apartheid struggle, there were plenty of hunger strikes. There are hunger strikes in prisons all the time. A part of the prison abolition movement. Gandhi, and I know he did plenty of problems. Plenty of problems.
I'm just saying.
Plenty.
It just seemed like
so part of the issue with asking that question is, let's define the terms. What do you mean by worked?
Right.
So first, I have to ask, when people ask that question, I'm learning to ask questions in response instead of being like, what the fuck you mean? No. So, okay, when
they get what they want? When I say worked, did they get what they want?
Do you and that's where the question, how many hunger strikes do you know about, has to come in. Because if we're going to talk about did they get what they want? Well, hunger strikes have been carried out for various reasons, for different reasons. So who are you? Who? What are we talking about? And eventually, what I try to get people to understand is that before you can even ask a question like that, and be serious, you have to have some information on the topic that you're trying to dispute. Because that question is not really like, hey, please give me more information about. No, it's like, this is a waste of time. And why are you doing it?
It sounds like he don't want to go to jail, and he's like, let me do something that won't prevent me to go to jail. Because most strikes, you go and disrupt a business, they call and put you in jail. And this one's like, nah, I'm not going to jail. Let me do something that'll keep me out. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yes, you are.
I mean, and I actually did ask him, when he looks back on this experience a year, 5 years, 10 years from now, what would success look like? How will he determine whether what he did was successful and the toll that it's taken on his body? And he feels like the fact that he's actually even committed to doing it this long is a success for him, because it takes a lot of discipline, a lot of self-sacrifice, and being able to just survive the experience is a lot. But also calling attention to what's happening at Amazon. Like Amazon is a corporate empire, and it is a battleground for many of the issues that we talk about: data centers, AI, surveillance. He said at Amazon, you're pretty much tracked like a package every step that you make. You don't even have a name. You're known as a username, and you
Oh,
badge in everywhere that you go. And it's like a fortress where it's hard to get information in and hard to get information out. And so just calling attention to it. I asked if he had a call of action for consumers, and he didn't even, it wasn't even like pressed to tell people to divest from Amazon as much as it is. If you do patron Amazon, consider diverting the money that you may pay for Prime to the union to support the union cause, or at least matching that amount for the union cause, and joining the volunteer committee that they have, so that they can help get the word out. Because it's not just about Amazon. Amazon is just second to Walmart as the biggest employer in the country. And yeah.
Walmart is still the biggest employer in the country. I thought Amazon had surpassed them. Wow.
Based on what I looked up, it said, but it could be something more recent.
Wow.
But yeah, it said, yeah, and pretty big globally, and it spans the continent. So doing this is going to can bring international attention, and the fact that we're discussing it is also a win, because other people are now finding out about something that they may not have known before.
Precisely. And I just think that's interesting about Walmart. That, I mean, I think now that I realize, wait, Walmart is still the largest employer in this country. So Walmart is basically laying in the cut, happy to let Amazon take all the public heat for its employment exploitation practices when Walmart is just as bad, if not,
Yeah.
well, yeah, just as bad, if not worse. And they've been doing it for longer, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this place, oh my God, what a dystopian hellscape. No wonder I liked sci-fi so much. It was just preparing me for the adulthood I was gonna have to live in.
That's exactly how he described like the walking in Amazon. That it's very dystopian. Like there's robots everywhere, and it's like you're dehumanized, you're surveilled. You don't really have a say in anything. Some of the workers sleep in their cars in the parking lot. They don't make enough
What? Wait,
money.
what?
Yeah,
So so wait a minute. All of the surveillance technology, because the cameras and remember, Amazon Web Services is the foundation for pretty much everything on the internet. Right? So that everything, all of their warehouses are heavily surveilled. So they know their employees are sleeping in the parking lots in their cars. And they got these ads out talking about how finally an appropriate one. They got these ads out, painting this rosy story about how Amazon pays their workers so well and provides them full health insurance on day one of the job. But you're sitting here telling us, A Rob, that down in the triangle, Amazon employees are sleeping in their cars in the parking lot of the Amazon warehouse. So that
yep,
means Amazon knows. They know. And they're just like, yeah, as long as you clock in on time, I don't give a shit.
yep. And it's sick. It's very,
I-
very sick. And like Amazon doesn't follow the law. So like a lot of the things they do are illegal, but there's absolutely no consequences for them breaking the
mm,
law.
None.
Um,
Absolutely none.
One of the things they want to do is establish it's called a Lima ordinance, which is a life-saving um, I forgot what the acronym stands for, but it's essentially, since North Carolina can't regulate employment, but municipalities can regulate 911. So forcing them to have to change that policy where they force employees to call internally before they call 911, and fining them dramatically if they break that policy.
Wow. That and see, this is why things like what this young man is doing are so important, because sometimes a story doesn't even get attention unless somebody does something this drastic to
Right.
bring attention to it. Because, as much as we have been talking about Amazon and their horrible employment practices for years and years and years for various reasons, and Walmart too, and just corporations in a capitalist system in general, it's like we forget that because these things are not in the news, the top of the news cycle anymore, these abuses are still going on. Right? And people still need to eat. So people are still working at this place because what other jobs up? Because I'm from the South. I know. Ain't no other jobs down there. Amazon and Walmart are the biggest employers, particularly in the South.
Yep.
Right? And they have monopolized employment, particularly in rural and poor, working class and poor, mostly Black, mostly Hispanic, areas, particularly in the South. So that down in the triangle, that's the only job you're gonna get if it's not in the prison.
Mm-hmm.
And see, if you go to work for the prison, you gotta do drug tests and all this kind of stuff, and they're still screening for marijuana and all this kind of bullshit. So most people are not going to get those jobs. So what's left? Amazon and gig work. So people literally don't have any other choice in a lot of places other than to work for these exploitative monopoly companies.
Right.
And unless somebody does something as extreme as this young brother has done or is doing, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. And that is the importance and the utility of these kinds of acts of resistance that are not the traditional, hit them in their pockets. Because, we don't know if people finding out about this won't turn into a
Right.
larger effort to do exactly what a traditional like boycott would do, which is to hit them in their pockets. But this is just another reason for people to begin to think about why they really should stop supporting Amazon. And so yeah, I'm so glad you talked to that young man, and man, he's doing this by himself, because he knows that the other employees they
Yep.
cannot speak out because they lose their jobs.
But he has been getting a lot of support from them because he's actually still working. And so
Oh,
even though he's weak and lethargic, and vision's starting to blur, and cognitively, because he does a lot of Spanish translations, and he hasn't
mhm.
been able to really do that because he can't think fast enough because he's
Wow.
been depriving himself of food for so long. But he checks in with a medical professional every week, so he
Mhm.
continued to work that whole time, and his coworkers would help him. So if he needed to load a forklift, putting all those heavy things on there could be a lot. So they would help him, which interferes with puts them at risk also. And so it is helping to build solidarity, and it is
Mhm.
helping build solidarity in the community because there's the Catholic Church that's been helping him, and there's a community of elder Black women that want to set up a meal train for him when it's over.
Yeah.
And at first people were trying to tell him to stop because they were
Mhm.
getting very, very worried about him. But when they realized he was going to persist, they just, well, what can we do to help? So he has somebody checking on him. And now because his condition has deteriorated, he has been able to get out of work this last week of it because he does have ketosis. Is that how you say
Oh
it?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and low potassium and all of that. So
Mhm.
Yeah, he is making a sacrifice. And then when he's done, he's not going to be able to just start eating. He's going to have to be admitted into the hospital and be
Yep.
slowly introduced back into
Mhm.
food. So yeah, I mean, to answer your question, Doctor, it's taking a dramatic measure to raise people's consciousness that this is a life or death situation because workers are dying at the job, and Amazon is advising people to walk over them and keep working, and not has no compassion for the actual humans operating and making that business run. And this is doing something that standing outside with a picket sign, or it's just the next level. Just like
Mhm.
Chris Smalls going on the flotilla, like that's the next level of protest and conscious raising.
Right, right. And look at the organizing that his act has created in the community. All of these people coming together to support him, and what they're really doing is supporting themselves in supporting him, because he's doing this to raise the issue that they're all affected by, and they are making sure that he is going to be taken care of and protected, and in doing that they are um they are supporting themselves. They're supporting their own organizing. They may not even realize that's what they're doing. They just see him as, especially the older Black ladies, because I know how we're in the South. I know how we are. Oh, that sweet boy. That sweet boy don't need to be doing all this. You ain't gonna change these people. You ain't gonna change a Mr. Charlie. That's how he is. But that boy, he's so sweet that let him go ahead and try. All right, then you not gonna eat, baby? Okay, that's all right. We gonna pray for you. We gonna pray for you while you're doing this fast. We gonna check on you. And then as soon as you out the hospital, we gonna bring you some food and you gonna be all right. And don't nobody mess with him on that job. And
Right.
and the supervisors better not say nothing to him. And this is organizing. And it is a beautiful thing to see. Even in the midst of such a horrible reason for having to do it. And again, just like the South is critical to understanding organizing history and strategies, and particularly studying the way poor Black sharecroppers, farmers, the formerly enslaved, organized, particularly after Reconstruction was cooed. There is a deep, deep, deep history of organized resistance, communist organized resistance in the South that we have got to get back, because I will forever shout out Dr. Robin D.G. Kelly and his book, Hammer and Hoe. If you really want to understand the deep history of labor organizing among emancipated people and their descendants in the South, that we don't talk about at all, you have got to read Hammer and Hoe. Big book, yep, just like Black Reconstruction. But if you don't read it, you don't understand how important it is that the history of labor organizing in the South that we're ignoring is the fact that we don't pay any attention to it is the reason we are not organizing as effectively as we could be in any capacity, but particularly in the labor movement. So thank you, A Rob, so much for bringing that young man's story and this whole story of Amazon's abuses in the Triangle in the South.
And it's also helpful from an international standpoint with them being from Peru, because I didn't have any context for the Fujimori regime and what that was. So it prompted me to look into that and have a better insight into his plight and his family's plight coming here and being from a country in an area that has rich labor organizing history. And he mentions Cesar Chavez as a influence in doing the hunger strike, because Chavez would do hunger strikes as well. And so bringing that international lens into the situation is helpful as well.
Mm-hmm. Hey, just want to shout out my dad. Hey, Daddy, love you too.
Cleophas! Bloop, 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 bloop. Thank you, Cleophas, for giving us this gift called Jackie. No doubt. Cleophas
Yeah,
is in the building.
That ain't fake neither. Don't.
You can't fake a Cleophas. Ain't nobody going.
Don't mess with that man. Don't mess with that man. His wife, his daughter, or his son. Don't do it. Do not do it.
You know what I would have did, even though I'm not that guy. I would have asked all the workers to show up to work, and then I would crowd surf and ask everybody out there that's really feeling a way to put some money towards this crap. Let's pay all these employees for the week, and y'all stay home, and don't go to Amazon and see how their business do. Then I think, I don't know, me as an Amazon person, like a business owner, I'd be like, all right, we gotta do something. Because it's
you mean crowd fun, not crowd
fun.
Crowd surfing.
Yeah, I was like, what?
I'm thinking I'm DJing again, doing a party.
So you want us to go into the parking lot of the Amazon warehouse, kind of jump around for a little bit, and then somebody's going to jump off the top of a car and
yeah, swag surf. Yeah, that's what I meant.
But you hear about that all the time, though. You hear about people striking for a day and not going to work and stuff like that. You don't very often hear people going on a 40-day hunger strike.
Yeah.
And it's just me. I'm just like, I don't seem all that effective, but it got your attention. We talk about it, right?
So maybe it wasn't ineffective at all.
To the business, we'll see.
All right. As soon as that 40 days is over, I'm sending him down to your house to get
a tofu sandwich. Tofu sandwich.
I think after a 40-day hunger strike, who's gonna care? And whether he's gonna give him a sandwich after 40 days, what the fuck is this? Tofu?
I ain't right. All right, listen, I'll let y'all go ahead and pull up another story. Let's take a quick one, and then we're gonna come back with some more right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Hey, ring the alarm. Oh, what's good, everybody? Welcome out to the Remix Morning Show. Thank you all for tuning in. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com, become a member over there. Get footage that's red. Donate where? At blkliberationmedia.org. Let's go ahead and put that at the bottom of the screen so it could be seen. There you go. All right, let's talk about it. First of all, make sure y'all tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. for this mix I got for y'all. Black August workout mix. This is something you're going to want to keep with you when you're going to work out and just be like, yo, this dude, take me through there. I got you. All right, let's talk about it. Yo, I do a show with Kim Brown, which she'll be back next month. So get ready for that. I do a show called Classical Breakdown. I was able to bring my homie, DJ Rasurius, through, and we talked about Anderson .Paak and Bilal's first album. Let's see how it went. It made sense. Love poems, y'all. Sing it. This was the player anthem. Yes, sir. Player anthem. Get to it. Yo.
I've been meaning
to tell you this, yo.
Yes, I was just
it's a beautiful song. Like the melody and everything, the composition.
As we step from across the room, starting to ponder what we've been going through.
Go check it out. It was a good time. Good albums, good time. Go check it out right here on Black Liberation Media. All right. With that said, let's get back to it right here with the Remix Morning Show. Let's go.
Watch the sound when I pray.
Yeah. All right. We got our next story. You are on mute, Jackie. Still on mute.
So sorry. Let's talk about the thumbnail though.
Oh yeah, please. Was it karma? You know him.
You know,
That's just how I look at it sometimes. You know,
uh,
I
you
let people
know,
get dealt with by the universe. Maybe that's just me.
I mean, look, if people don't know who that man is,
Mm,
and man, I use that term loosely, man,
please.
that is Sean Grayson, ex-deputy convicted of fatally shooting Sonia Massey. Go away. He died in prison. He was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer in 2023. One of his attorneys said previously it was unclear whether the cancer was what caused his death. Nope, sorry. I did not realize they had the video up there. Yeah, I had to scroll away from that very quickly. Apologize. I didn't mean to show that. Grayson testified that he believed Massey was going to throw boiling water on him after she said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus," because yeah, that's what we do after we rebuke somebody. We violently assault them. And we I mean people who claim Christianity. But yeah, that just when Grayson looked confused, Massey repeated the sentence. He took that as a threat. No, he didn't. That was a lie he told.
Mm.
Grayson pointed his gun at Massey and threatened to shoot her. According to body camera video, she apologized and dropped to the floor, but he fired 3 times, hitting her and killing her. Grayson declined to offer medical care. Sangamon County State's Attorney John Millhiser said in court, Massey was pronounced dead at St. John's Hospital in Springfield. First Assistant State's Attorney Mary Beth Rogers said in court, "I'm sorry. That is the last thing Sonia Massey said before the defendant murdered her, just like he said he would." Governor J.B. Pritzker signed the Sonia Massey Act, a law requiring stricter background checks for law enforcement hires, and it went into effect at the beginning of the year, and it's not going to change a damn thing. Sangamon County officials agreed in early 2025 to pay a $10 million settlement to Massey's family, but this pig who slaughtered Sonia Massey is dead and died in an appropriate manner. I hope he died in excruciating pain. I hope the misery was exquisite. And I hope that in his last days, not moments, I hope this dragged out for days, that all he heard was, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." I hope that is all that bastard heard in his head as that cancer ate the fuck out of him.
So they came up with an act to do what they supposed to do anyway.
And they ain't gonna do it. And they ain't gonna do it. And
Wait
they
a
are
minute.
not gonna do it.
I can get a job at goddamn CVS and they gonna do a harder background check. They come up with an act and put their name on it and say, "Oh, we're gonna really vent these people we're hiring to hold guns and take people's lives." Probably. I'm done. I'm
Yeah. So, and you know, Rob, there has been another example of people getting the consequences they deserve in this racist society, because listen, this is I know there's a whole lot of controversy about this story, and I have thoughts, but this little pig right here, this man Nathan Kofnas, is the academic who accused Jason Arday of plagiarism. And he was asked if he felt responsible for Arday's death in his first interview since Arday passed. And ooh, this is Lord Jesus. Okay, but here you go.
So now that's a very tricky question, right? I did take an action which set off a series of events that led to a tragic outcome. If I say that I'm not responsible, then it sounds like kind of I don't appreciate the consequences of what happened. If I say I am responsible, I mean, what are the implications of that?
Family, people like Sue Whitton, who's been instrumental in everything I've done, and a lot of things that happened to me at St Mary's.
Let's see. Just to let me go back and read these captions.
What are the implications of that?
Cambridge University's youngest Black professor, Jason Arday, was found dead in his home on August 14. Just a week after he resigned over Cofness's allegations that he plagiarized his PhD thesis and other works, UK media published 188 articles about Arday in 9 days following the allegations.
You have to be allowed to critique such people, even if there's some risk that they will take it the wrong way or feel very bad about it. I had zero interest in Jason Arday. I had no ill will for him. I wanted him to stay professor and live his best life.
Let me stop right there, because that's a damn lie. That man's entire academic career is based on eugenics and the idea that Black people are not as smart as white people and do not deserve to be in academia. He literally wrote papers making that argument. And this campaign that he started against Jason Arday went on for 3 years. This did not just happen this year. When we heard about the story, and there's a reason this story was internationally put. When we talk about the global coalescing of a fascist organized group of folks, this is the evidence of this, because this idea that you have to combat woke by getting all of the unqualified Blacks out of whatever institution you're in, that is not an ideology that only this man in Cambridge in the UK has. We know that is the sentiment here. We know that is the sentiment among these right-wing folks in Europe and all over the world. All these right-wing folks in the global South. These right-wing Black folks that they're propping up on the continent and all over the world. So this is the result. The fact that we in the US and everybody around the world knew about Professor Dr. Jason Arday and his alleged crimes of plagiarism. Why would we know about that? Because he's not the only professor who has been accused of plagiarism, and the 2 investigations against him did not reveal that he intentionally plagiarized anything. But even if he did, there are other professors, white professors, not just at Cambridge, but I think the most famous professor at Cambridge, who was proven to have plagiarized students' work, literally took entire pages out of his own students' work and passed it off as his own. Professor William O'Reilly, not the same as Bill O'Reilly, but that man stayed a professor. And I'm not sure if he's still but yeah. And he's not the only one. And Cambridge is not the only university. Plagiarism all the time. Professors get accused of plagiarism all the time, and many of them are proven to have actually plagiarized. And most of them do not lose their jobs. Most of them are not subjected to an international witch hunt, aided and abetted by fascist-controlled media and neoliberal silly arguments about, well, if you misrepresent yourself, what do you expect? We're holding ourselves up, and we're holding each other up to the standards set by people who established and grew their societies and empires off of the genocide and theft and economic and physical exploitation of our ancestors. And we are sitting here talking about, well, if we lie, of course we're going to get, man, kiss my whole ass. Did Jason Arde lie about some of his credentials? I don't know. Did it seem like he lifted a few sentences from some place and changed a word around? But you could tell that the sentence came from somewhere else and he didn't properly attribute it to. Yeah, he did that a couple of times. But the thing is, people are talking about these one or two instances of so-called or alleged plagiarism, but they are not talking about the decades and breadth and depth of Dr. Arde's work. And this pig who is talking about how he had no ill will toward Jason Arde, he admitted that he intended to make Jason Arde and the example of why woke needs to be run out of academic institutions, and all of the mediocre, unqualified Blacks like Arde need to be run out along with it. And then that way, he said, that's how we will improve our academic institutions, because when you strengthen these frameworks, or when you strengthen these entry requirements, and I don't know what that means, strengthen these entry requirements, but basically when you deny Black people access to academic institutions, or when you set the standards to a level that even you don't adhere to, then there will be no more Black people in academia. You don't have to run them out. You just have to find one good case to make the argument that everybody will accept that these people deserve to be scrutinized much, much, much more harshly, to make sure that we screen out as many of them as possible. That's what he admitted to doing. So the consequence that he got was that he has been suspended from his position. But that is, of course, is not enough. And now, of course, the right wing around the world is like, oh, he got suspended for expressing his opinion. No, he didn't express his opinion. He started a violent smear campaign to destroy the reputation, the career, and ultimately the life. Now, do I think he intended for Dr. Arde to die? No, I don't think he intended for him to die. But he absolutely intended to destroy that man's life, to prove his point that Africans, and I'm sure not just Africans, but all non-white people, do not deserve to be in the same academia that he believes that he and people like him are entitled to control solely for themselves. So he is getting his close to his just desserts, I guess. Not enough for me, but it's nice to see some kind of consequences. I don't know how long that's going to last. I doubt it's going to last very long. He'll probably be reinstated after all the fervor dies down. So yeah, don't let it die down. Don't let it die down.
And some of those media outlets need to be held, I don't know if accountable is the right word, but they publish like hundreds of articles about this guy. Like,
yeah,
why it's not a newsworthy situation, and they're publishing like constantly about these unverified accusations about this man, and they don't do that with like sexual predators in the university.
Oh.
They don't do that with people embezzling from the universities. They don't do that with the people that are actually causing real harm to students and other faculty in these schools. But they were obsessed with this man and just completely permeated the news cycle with negative reports about him.
Mhm.
And, you know, he may not have intended to, but he definitely facilitated a social death for him and tried to really ruin his reputation. Because I mean, there's nothing else he would have been able to do professionally with all that information out there about him, and how would he be able to dispute hundreds of news articles about his life? Like, how do you tell people all these stories are not real or not true? Because people are going to say, well, why are so many news people so invested in it if it's not true?
Yeah, I mean, and it's wild too that all of this is we're seeing this coordinated campaign of these right wing racists um, all over the world. And it's basically it's not happening because of Trump, because this has been going on for decades, right? But their current leader, the current facilitator of this, the current inspirational head of this global really anti-left, anti-communist, pro-capitalist, pro-fascist movement is a man who is an idiot. I'm sorry. Let me not say that word. Forgive me. I can't say that word either. Has the brain of a jellyfish. Jellyfish have no brains.
And they all look like thumbs. Like, they all look like thumbs. They all look just like, they all look the same. Like,
they do.
Who told y'all was the master race?
Particular thumb, where's the diaper? Look, listen, I'm 58 and I'm 60 and I like being outside in the summer, and I gotta go to the bathroom, and so I'm not using the porta potty because So look, I do not disparage the need for Depends. Keep living. You gonna need them. But this man is the president of the United States. And he is sitting around wearing an adult diaper, literally releasing himself in the Oval Office as he's making announcements, and everybody is standing around him instead of acting like normal human beings and saying, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It's always on their face, though. It's always on their face.
They're standing around trying to pretend like everything is okay. So these are people who have never, ever had a problem making up a bunch of lies to claim that we are inferior to them, knowing damn well that they are basically, they're the bottom of humanity's barrel. And they have to use the lie that other people are less than them, because that is the only way they can elevate themselves out of the smegma of the bottom of that barrel that they know they're in. That is the other than the money, right? The money is the main reason. The resource extraction, the labor exploitation. I am going to do some videos where I am going to read some chapters of Black Reconstruction in America, so you can understand that all of everything, slavery, genocide, all of it, they did it because they were greedy bastards. The racism, the lies they came up with to justify doing all that, to make all of this money, that's not what the ruling class is interested in. But they use this kind of stuff that this Kafnas person did, or whatever, however you pronounce his name. They do this kind of stuff because they know that the masses of white people will eat it up, right? Because they know that they are stealing from everybody. The reason working class and poor white people are suffering is because of them, just like we know that. But see, working class and poor white people have a history in this country of responding to economic oppression by the capitalist class by blaming the people that the capitalist class tells them to blame, which is never the capitalist class. It's always the other workers who don't look like you, the other workers who come from another country, the other workers who are disabled, and they can't work as hard as you do, but for some reason they want the same pay that you want. The history tells us this about these people. That and this is not the ruling class I'm talking about when I'm saying these people. I'm talking about the white working class now. The reason that this kind of stuff gets the attention and gets the legs that it does is because the white working class around the world has been deeply indoctrinated to accept these kinds of arguments as the reasons for their economic and social suffering and even social death. And Rob, I would like for you to explain that for people who don't know what that is, because that I love that so much. But this stuff gets legs, not just because, corporate international media wants it to have legs, but it gets legs because indoctrinated white people around the world believe it. They look at it. The strategy works, right? The white supremacist strategy of dividing the white working class from the black working class, from the immigrant working class, from the, from the working class, from the non-white working class, it still works. That's why
that's why they think woke one was crazy, right? Because woke one was centered around police brutality, primarily impacting black people. And deep down, white working class people see the utility in police to keep black people in line. And they are afraid of what will happen, what black people might do if there are no police there to keep us in check.
Yep. So what is social death? Because I hear the phrase a lot, and I know people hear it a lot, but I love defining terms. So what is social death?
So social death is like kind of eliminating somebody's existence, making them like a social pariah, so that they kind of lose their identity, their individuality. They're no longer a person. You strip them of their humanity, and it's easy to dispose of them. So what they did to him, he became like a avatar for DEI and promoting unqualified black people and putting black people in positions that they haven't earned and don't deserve. And they used him as an avatar for that. And he took all the brunt of people's frustrations and how they felt about black people elevating in society and made him the poster child for it and just laid on him nonstop in an obsessive sort of way until he was no longer a person. So he wasn't allowed to make a mistake if he indeed plagiarized or miscited something. He wasn't allowed to make that mistake because now he's this representative of DEI, and so he's going to be the target, and we're going to strip him of his humanity and his ability to be a person, a full person, and do right, do wrong, make mistakes, and be able to move past that. They just completely took that away from him, and so it probably, unfortunately, made it easier for him to take his life if that's what happened, because he had been ostracized in that way.
I agree, and I like that you said if that's what happened, because you know what, I don't own a tinfoil hat, but you see what we living in out here. That's just, we can be certain of nothing these days other than the history we know and that we better organize to do something about it. So but all right, let's bring our brother from out under the shadows.
No problem. Yeah, man. It's a lot of people always biting other people's works, paraphrasing what people said. You ask them a regular question on how to breathe, and they won't tell. They won't know how to tell you unless they copy somebody else's thoughts. So let's be real about it. All right, Spack. What was it doing? Okay, so let's go ahead and take a quick break as you go ahead and pull up the next story right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's do it like this. Let's do a remix on the remix right here. Check this out. Like and subscribe. Let's go.
Sometimes I wanna rhyme, but then again I must believe approaching over toy to introduce it to his fate. That I always try to figure out why sucker MCs wanna battle me when they know they will die in the end. So I pretend you live in trifle. I'ma rope you up like a cowboy, sniper your throat with my microphone cord, cause I'm a lord of the rhyme. Some people say that they can never get bored, cause I'm exciting, pleasurable listening. I'm only trying to show you what your records keep on missing it. I'm only trying to help out your crew, and I know I must forgive you cause you don't know what you're doing. So sucker MCs, please think twice. Would you join the Navy if you didn't like the gravy and rice? Think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it.
All right. Let me take you to a time and place. Let me take you back to the year of 1989. We talking about Special Ed off his album Youngest in Charge. The name of that song is Think About It. But no need to think about hitting that like button, subscribing, and going to patreon.com, become a member over there and get footage that's red, donating where blkliberationmedia.org. Go to the site, go get you some merch, rock out, share, and let everybody know this is where they need to be. All right, with that said, let's get back to it. You know how we do it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Yeah. All right. Like I said, make sure y'all tune in tomorrow also at 11 for Black August Workout Mix for Sunday's radio. And also we'll be having FD Signifier join us tomorrow on the Remix Morning Show. So come on.
How are we now?
Yeah, we are. Listen,
Okay.
we got things going on behind the scene back here, so I might not, you never
Alrighty. Thanks for letting me know.
No problemo.
Anyone planning to go to the socialism conference?
Huh?
Is anyone planning to go to the socialism conference?
I wish I could. I don't have any socialism conference money. Yeah, that's I would really love to go to this. Let me see. It's
Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, and it's in Chicago too. Chicago in the summer is one of my favorite cities. I can't do Chicago in the winter. I am sorry.
Well, that's saying a lot if you live in DC.
That's true, but that lake, man, I'm sorry.
The wind off the lake does make a difference.
Jesus, I can't do it. My skin ain't that thick no more. So yeah, this is the socialism conference in Chicago, September 4th through the 7th. I really want to go. And this is this sponsored by Haymarket?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Haymarket Books. And these are all of the speakers. Oh yeah, Femi, that's fantastic. All of these folks, Dave Zirin. Oh wow, lots of folks. Oh, Saul Williams.
Saul, yeah.
Oh my Lord. Oh. Okay, I need to start begging for money. All right. That's all I needed to see. That's all I needed to see. Oh Lord. So yeah, this looks like fun. This looks like a lot of fun, and I really, really want to go. So I'm gonna see what I can do.
Well, the tickets are actually are reasonable, and they have student and low income tickets that are like I think $60 maybe.
Yeah. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, did I already commit to doing something else? I probably did commit to doing something that weekend, but Yeah, so I'm going to drop the link to this in the chat for y'all. So, hey, you might be able to go. You should go if you're interested in socialism, if you want to learn about socialism. Go with an open mind, learn some stuff, meet some socialist comrades, which is, I think, the most important thing about these kinds of international convenings, A-Rob, because we do kind of operate in silos still. And I think that's just because of the demographic reality of this country. We live far apart, from a lot of people. It's a vast country, and it's expensive to even travel within the country to connect with people. And of course that is by design. But these kinds of things are really helpful for bringing people with an ideology that is not popular and is suppressed in this country together. So I hope people can go.
And we need more Black people in these spaces to help
Mhm.
push these white socialists on their anti-Blackness sometimes. So, I think a lot of times we concede space because it is so anti-Black.
Mhm.
But we need to start taking over the spaces and, letting people know what's up so that white
Mhm.
people are not the predominant face of socialism. I think that's what turns a lot of people
I
off,
mean,
is the prominent faces of socialism don't like
Mhm.
don't most of us got to go to work. They got time to go do this.
That's a factor for some. Yeah, I think that's a factor for
Yeah,
a lot of
a
them.
lot of intellects got a little with college, got a little bit of money. They got time to do things that others can't do. So you're gonna see them at the places more. That's
Well,
Well,
there are Black intellects too, and there are Black people
yeah,
that's
that
what I
need to
said. That's what I said. But yeah, well,
yeah. I mean, but that there are challenges that we know are inherent in working class and poor people being able to, just attend a local meeting, to organize. But see, that is why we organizers have to create these environments where we meet our people where their needs are, right? So if we understand that we're going to have a meeting, a teach-in, a town hall, whatever, film screening and discussion, we've got to consider that the people in our community that we want to engage with do work. So what time are we having this event? What day are we having this event? Does it make sense to have this event on during the week?
mm-hmm.
Or is it better to do it on the weekend? And while we think that's one answer for one group of working people, then you realize, wait a minute, not everybody works a straight 9 to 5. Some people do shift work. A lot of our people do shift work, right? And a lot of our people work on the weekends. Not everybody has weekend off. So we have to ask ourselves these questions about the people in our community in order to provide what the people need in a way that they can access it, right? And we are not able to meet every material need. But if we know our people, if we really know the people in our communities, we can come up with solutions that do mitigate the circumstances that make it difficult for them to access this kind of information. Some of that mitigation is us taking the information to them, literally knocking on doors and capturing the folks who can't come to the meetings.
Or like you do, going straight to the church. Where they at? Meet people where they at. Go there. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. What do I know?
And
But
then when you connect with the organizations that have resources, you can help people be able to do things like you can sponsor people to attend stuff like this who may not otherwise be able to go. You can stream it virtually in a environment where folks can watch it and have discussions about it. So there's creative ways that we can do stuff to bring our people more into the fold. And when you provide childcare and food and offer accommodations for people that need it, then you kind of show people what it's like to be in community and what it's like to engage with people who actually are considering what your situation may be by the fact that those things are even available. Because when you go to a city council meeting, they don't have childcare for you. They're not going
Right.
to feed you. They're not going to. They, at the end of the day, they don't really want you to engage
Mhm.
because that requires them to work harder. So, just being the antithesis to what they see with government helps a lot and lets people know like you're invested in their material conditions changing because
Mhm.
you're considerate of what they are.
Right. Exactly. Which, I'm glad you mentioned the town halls. And thanks. The one from BK, the conference does have a virtual program option. If you can't make it in person, just check. And this is where, because we've had this conversation before in this platform, this is where social media and technology it is effective. This is why these hybrid and virtual options are important for organizing, because yes, we know that some of our people are not going to be able to make these events in person. So we have to make sure that there is a way for them to access the information when they have time. Right. So, and interestingly enough, for people who are new, Ear Doctor is usually just being provocative. He's usually just playing the devil's advocate because, he is a little devilish. But usually when people say that, that's not like an uncommon response, You gonna stop messing with my mayor like that though. But that is not an uncommon response. And what I find interesting is that response doesn't happen when we're talking about any other kind of conference, right? If or any other kind of multi-day gathering, a festival, or I'll never hear nobody talking about why they having why they having the Essence Fest in New Orleans again over all these days. People got to work. But if you don't want to go, just say you don't want to go. If you're not interested in going to the political organizing conference, just say you don't want to go to this. It's okay. It's okay. We know.
It's also a good opportunity to test the principles of organizations to say, hey, we got some people that are really, really interested in going but can't afford to. Do you have any access to funding or scholarships that can help people go? Because as a conference on socialism, that should be something that's available to folks. So if you can't, then message somebody because they maybe do have resources that can help people.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, if any organization should be receptive to the demands of the people, is definitely the people who are organizing a socialist conference. And if their ticket prices are a little bit unreasonable for most people, yeah, let them know. So they
And a
can
lot of times they'll let you volunteer to
Mhm.
be able to come, and there's lots of different ways that you can be involved. And so
Mhm.
just getting people to think out of the box outside of the money part, because the money part is probably just to pay primarily for the venues used and
Right.
the tech stuff that's needed. I don't know that it's generating
Mhm.
profit. So I'm sure that there are ways that people can go.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, thanks for raising that. Now I'm sitting here plotting like, what can I do? And if I'm doing that, then I know I really cannot go. So let me stop before I get myself into some kind of trouble. That's good. So, Erica, Dr. Brown, I love saying that so much. I just really do. Thank you for lacing us with the run sheet. Listen, let me tell you something about these people. These people need to be stopped. They need to be stopped. There is no reason, there's no biblical reason for it. There is no spiritual reason for it. There is no logical reason for anybody to be doing this in 2026. There never was any reason for anybody to really be doing this. But ProPublica, one of my favorite investigative journalism outlets, has published this study or expose talking about a faith healing sect in Idaho. Now,
Idaho.
Okay, let me be nice. So say, children in a faith healing sect kept dying. The state lets it happen. Let's see. I'm not going to read the whole thing because if you know anything about ProPublica, their investigative articles are really long, very thorough, and very good. So I'm just going to read you this little highlight here. Death after death, almost every year since 2015, Idaho children in a faith healing sect have died of treatable conditions such as pneumonia and bacterial infections that turn to sepsis. Church doctrine, former members of the Followers of Christ. No, they're not. A sect say parents are pressured to follow doctrine that forbids medical care. He ain't never say that. Those who stray risk shunning, they said. No legal pressure. Oregon officials say after the state put legal boundaries on faith healing, more parents sought care for kids. Idaho, by contrast, has kept its faith healing protections. Listen, I as a liberation theology focused follower of Jesus Christ, Jesus is my dude. I fucks with some Jesus. And the Holy Spirit too. This this ain't Christianity. This is not spirituality. This is ignorance and white supremacy. That is what it is. It is ignorance because these people, just like most of us in these churches, sitting in these pews, listening to these people lie about what's in the book, don't actually read the book themselves to know that they're being lied to. And they don't read the book to know that, and they don't study the history about the formation of the book and the culture that it came from, the region that it came from. We do not understand the Bible at all. And I guarantee you, these people are not encouraged to read the Bible outside of the scriptures, whoever the leaders of their sect tell them to read. They don't do the thing that the Bible itself tells us that we're supposed to do, which is to read and study it for ourselves. And that's the one scripture that the imperialists who co-opted the movement missed when they decided they were going to institutionalize the movement principles and turn it into a religious system for empire, which is the exact opposite of what the faith emerged as. These people, just like white Christian nationalists in the government here, just like white Christian nationalists who are all behind Project 2025 and other, they all believe the same thing, that laws created to protect people, particularly children and women and marginalized people from abuse and exploitation like this, are against their quote unquote religious beliefs. So they turn this kind of thing, protecting children, protecting women from abuse, protecting disabled people, protecting queer and trans people from discrimination, protecting non-white people from discrimination, laws making sure that those people are not mistreated because of who they are. They believe that all of those things are against their freedom of religious expression, and they swear to God that they're doing the will of God, even though the book actually says that they're supposed to be doing the exact opposite to make sure that all of those vulnerable people are taken care of. So when you have a government that is full of people who believe this white supremacist, imperialist manipulation of a revolutionary grassroots movement, and they codify that bastardization of that faith into law, because that's what this is. Like Oregon was like, okay, look here. Y'all can believe whatever the hell you want as adults, but you cannot keep letting your children die because of this dumb belief. No, we're not going to let you keep doing this. I don't care if you feel like you have healing hands. If you feel like you have healing hands and you use them on yourself, but you don't have a right to deny another person who is not you, whether it's your child or your wife, medical care to save their lives. You don't have the right to put somebody else's health and life at risk because of your personal religious or spiritual beliefs. That's what Oregon said. You're not going to keep doing that. And the result is children dying. So when Oregon passes a law to restrict faith healing, then the people in the faith healing cults were like, okay, I guess we got to go to the doctor now, because we don't want to go to jail, and sometimes that's what you got to do. But Idaho was like, fuck no, white Christian Jesus, you ain't gonna tell us what to do. We gonna kill as many of our kids as we want in the name of the Lord. And I swear to God, those people are a scourge upon humanity and this society. That there is no, there is no justification, reasoning, logic, nothing. They need to be in prison.
Speaking of,
I hate to say that, but they do.
Speaking of a cult of Christians, does this seem like the KKK is coming back? Because I was just looking, and I was like, I mean, let's
craziest segues ever.
I mean, it seemed like with the whole MAGA thing and they coming back in full force. I mean, just lynchings in 2026. I mean, Cobb County, Georgia, February 18th, Kyle. Jay in Michigan, June 30th. Tisha, Mississippi. What is it? Unidentified man in Raleigh, North Carolina. Demetrius Fleming in North Carolina. It's
Roanoke Rapids.
Yeah, it's just like, yo, this is the they got their man in office and they like, oh, we back, bitches.
Well, they never go away. I mean, don't you think there's a reason you never see the police and the Klan in the same place anymore?
Oh yeah, it's like Scooby Doo.
Because you're actually looking at the police and the Klan in the same place when you see the police.
Yeah,
and when you see ICE.
That's Scooby Doo when you take the hood off at the end. Be like, oh, this is the this is the police chief. Yo, this is a wild place, man. Straight up. I mean, all these lynchings is wild right now. And I don't know. I just thought about that when you talk about Christianity, cults, and different people. That's just so say their name. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. And even though that was a weird segue, I got your point. Because Idaho is one of them states, right? We know that Idaho is one of those states So,
and it seems like Mississippi is a testing ground for everything right now. Like the blackout, they power's out. Big up to Amber on Fridays. Her power's out. Like Mississippi going through that, lynchings, everything. It seems like that's really a testing ground.
Yeah, every natural disaster that the state has not responded to adequately for the people in the past, how many decades? It's only being accelerated now because it's not like we didn't see these kinds of I can't even call them abuses, these kinds of acts of neglect, just fuck you, you know, from the state after how many hurricanes, ice storms, you know, snowstorms that nobody expected, to be as devastating as they were. It's been going on. I mean, Katrina.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
I meant Mississippi. Memphis,
yeah, you meant Memphis.
Yeah. I meant,
Yeah. I mean, so you know, we're seeing these things kind of happening. It looks like they're happening more frequently, or maybe things are happening all at the same time where we don't think they have happened this way before, but it's always been this way. This has been an issue um, with working class and poor, Black and other non-white communities not receiving the adequate support from government institutions after natural disasters for decades. This has been a problem with FEMA for decades. You know, so and the issue of extrajudicial police killings, or the killings of Black folks by regular old white racists that don't get investigated at all. I mean, when has lynching ever stopped in this country? It has never stopped. And we don't even know how many of our people actually were lynched, because you know they didn't report all of them. You know, so it's and some things in the modern era, as we're seeing with these you know, Black folks being found hung in trees. This is not the first time these kinds of things have happened. Over the years, these things have kept happening. There have been dozens, you know, scores of mysterious deaths of Black people being found hung, hanged, along with church burnings and you know, house bombings that went uninvestigated, underinvestigated. So I think that we have not paid enough attention to these things happening in the past. And now that this person is in office, it's like the media is doing two things, I think. On the one hand, they're still treating him like he is somehow legitimate just because he's the president of the United States, and he's not, you know, what he is. But then on the other hand, the media is using all of the consistent failures, and well, not failures, all of the long-standing neglects of certain communities in this country. And now they're reporting on all this stuff and they're blaming it on Trump, right? As opposed to being honest and saying this system has never worked because these people have been treated like crap under every administration. We just never reported on it before.
I think also it's like we got one of ours in office now, so we feel pretty proud. Like how Black people felt proud when Obama was in office. You know, now they feel a lot prouder. Like, yo, he's really talking our language right here. You know, so
no, wrong for that. But you know.
Anyway. But back to the Idaho story, I'll say it's just the tragedy of like the parental rights and religious freedom clashing, where people think that they have that their children are extensions of them, and they control them and own them and can make those type of decisions for them. Like, I totally understand people's skepticism around corporate medical system and healthcare system. Also, science is like an international thing. It's not like an American thing.
Right.
There's an international science community that comes to consensus about certain things, and it's not imperfect, because as time goes on, we learn new information, we make adjustments, but it's not people not getting vaccinated and people not, you know, getting their kids vaccinated and sending them to school and exposing other children to diseases that we've essentially eradicated until recently, because people have bought into uninformed disinformation and spreading lies about
That's what we
what
doing.
children's
That's what we doing,
vacations are.
A-Rob. That's what we
Hey,
doing.
I wasn't talking to you, but it's been said. Died in every color.
Kid dogs go home.
Y'all ready to go there? We can go. Let's go.
No,
That's
but
right.
you know,
Mr. Sniffles, as y'all count my sniffs and everything.
No, I count your sniffs because that's like your petty sound effect, not because of your. It's like when you say
Petty.
something, you be like, anyway, continue. That's like how you. That's how you break down your petty.
It's the
not because of
carpet
your
in my
vaccination.
room and the fan. Today I didn't have my fan running, so you see no sniffs.
Oh, okay.
See, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It just comes out
Anyway.
at specific times when you're trying to accentuate a point, right? You know this.
Listen. I just like Jackie. I'm a faithful. I have faith in my decisions and my ancestors telling me what to do and what not to do. And if certain people don't understand it and they think that I'm hurting other people by, doing me, I guess that's just what it is, ain't it?
I guess, but I wanted to raise that story, Ear Doctor, because I wanted to ask. So what are we doing with holy shit? Are we? What's
our first? I think the first thing I remember talking. Oh, in case y'all didn't know what we even talking about, we're doing a Patreon special called Holy Shit, and I'm gonna be asking and talking with Jackie about certain things. And I think my first question was, what does the first books of the Bible have to do with the revolutionary story of Jesus? Why is those books even important? Is it like the build up to why? So y'all gotta tune in for that. When we got time to do this, Jackie? Not today, right?
No, today is actually a good day to do it, or tomorrow. I could do it tomorrow, but Friday I can't. But
let's look at next week. Let's do it.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna make it happen. I think that's gonna be something, because from talking with Jackie and understanding, using this Bible as a book to talk about a certain person, like we would talk about certain revolutionaries, is a good way to use it, instead of how we've been taught how it was used for slavery and how it, made us, not want to rebel, turn the cheek type thing. So I think it'll be a good discussion. Damn, we almost out of here. What's
Hey, doctor, I want you to know I went and bought a soursop because of you, because I never had it before.
Really?
You did not let me know that the seeds are toxic. So I'm glad that I read before I ate it.
Listen, I always say do your research.
Ear Doctor, you almost killed A-Rob.
No, I usually have soursop in the juice form, so I don't ever worry about no
so
seeds.
you never had a raw one?
Nah.
Oh, so I had something you ain't had.
Look at that. Look at that. Well, I'm glad
You got the processed soursop.
Whoa. Is it processed when you juice it and put it in that's processed?
Did you juice it?
What processing?
No, I got people. Yeah, no, I don't buy from just anybody. I got people that do it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. But I'm glad you didn't die on
food. Yeah.
And that's a funny thing too. I was realizing that health is another topic that you bring up that people be like, health, religion, politics, and sex. You bring up those topics, people are like, I'm just still amazed at how people be like, ew, when you talk about sex. Like, how old are you?
Well, always depends on how you talk about sex and how you talk about health. Like, I'm a firm believer that everybody's entitled to do what they want to do, but health-wise, everybody's body is different, and there's not like a one prescriptive way for everybody to do something. So, sometimes people present information as if it's all encompassing and applies to everyone, and is not always medically informed, and that can be dangerous because there are certain things you can't mix together. If you got certain diseases and illnesses, you can't eat together. You can't, and it could cause more harm than people intend for it to.
Yeah.
So that's when it gets tricky, when people present their personal dietary or health habits as medical advice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's funny because even with me, I always said this is what I do. I never was like, you shouldn't go get that vax. Don't do it. I was like, this is just what I'm doing. Like, chill, God. I ain't tell you you was killing other people.
Well, I would say I volunteered for a study for the Novavax vaccine when it first came out, because I feel like it's important. For the reason why we don't know what stuff does to certain groups of people is because people don't volunteer for the studies, and that's totally understandable. Not judging or critiquing that, but that's partially why certain medications, people don't know how it impacts certain different demographics, because our demographics don't sign up to do these studies. So I did it.
Yeah.
I just don't trust them like that.
And I the whole health thing, COVID, this COVID thing really showed me how hateful people in this country really are. How much people in this country honestly really do not give a fuck about other human beings in this country, because
it's a death cult.
Literally just asking people to wear a mask so that you do not, if you are sick, transmit your germs to other people. Because we immunosuppressed people, we're used to wearing a mask anyway, right? Everybody should know by now, I had a kidney transplant in 2023. So I will be immunosuppressed for the rest of my life, because the medication I take to not reject the kidney keeps me immunosuppressed and will keep me immunosuppressed so that the kidney stays healthy. So no, I cannot afford to catch your germs. I cannot afford to catch your flu. And the vaccine, when I did catch COVID, made sure that the COVID was not as severe as it would have been with me being immunosuppressed, particularly if I hadn't taken the vaccine. If you don't like the vaccine, fine, don't take the vaccine. And it's like, okay, you have a choice, take the vaccine or just wear a mask. And people wouldn't do either. And then started to shame people for taking the vaccine and wearing a mask. And then started talking about, well, the only people who died were the people who already had diseases, and they died from those diseases and not the virus. So people literally, and I'm not just talking about white people, I'm not just talking about conservatives, way too many damn leftists, progressives, liberals, black folks. Their entire argument during COVID, and over 1 million people dead from COVID, was, well, the sick people deserve to die. And if you were sick and you were already sick because you weren't taking care of yourself and this virus caused you to die, then you didn't really die from the virus. You died from your sickness. So you deserved it. So don't ask me to protect you. That's what that attitude is. And it is hateful. It is very capitalist derived. It is rugged individualism, and quite honestly, it's racist and ableist, and a whole lot of us are that way. And I don't talk about health and food. I don't like talking about it. I will talk about religion all day, rather than talking about those, because it terrifies me.
Yeah,
terrifies me how much people don't give a damn.
It also just exposed how much stuff we do that doesn't make sense. Like when COVID happened, you had to start wearing a mask in doctor's office and hospital. But why was that not always like something that was encouraged? Because you're literally going into an environment around nothing but sick people. Why would they not tell you to wear a mask in a hospital or doctor's office? It just doesn't make sense.
None of it does. All right, what we got coming up on Darker Than Blue this Friday?
Ooh, I am talking more about socialism and why people in the United States do not like their tax dollars being spent on social programs. And yes, it has everything to do with exactly what you think it does, racism. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. And it'll probably be a pre-recorded show because I am going to my daddy's joint this weekend, and we're having a little family gathering, and that's what I'm fitting to do. But I'm also doing a event on Sunday, and we'll talk about that tomorrow.
All right. Anything coming up on your end, A-Rob?
Yep, I am flying to the UK later today
What?
to go to Carnival.
Yeah, I need a job. I need a job for you. I don't get to go nowhere. I'm always here. 5 years, y'all ain't seen me go nowhere.
That's true.
Well, yo, you have a safe trip, and I can't wait for you to come back and tell us all about it.
Thank you.
No doubt. All right, and like I said, tomorrow, classical breakdown at 11 o'clock. Let's work out together. Let's do this Black August thing, y'all. Let's train. Let's work out. Let's fast. I know some people are scared of that. Let's fast from 7 to 7 at least 3 times this month. You're not gonna die. And read a book. All right, with that said, we are out of here. That is Jackie Lukeman. I'm the Ear Doctor. That's A-Rob. And y'all have a good one. Organize so we can rise. Peace out, my people. Yo. Black Liberation Media is a collective of Black and African organizers, journalists, academics, and media personalities serving Black and African masses seeking to further grow in their understanding of themselves, their histories, and the African world through entertainment and news. Please continue to like, subscribe, and donate to the channel so we can further serve you and liberate our people. You can also go to blkliberationmedia.org, get some merchandise, and also become a Patreon member and a member from the YouTube. Please do what you can, share, and show your love as we will show ours for you. Black Liberation Media.